All right, welcome back to our beginner series here with Satisfactory. My name is Jack Blade and welcome to my channel. We are now on episode 12, and last episode we did stage 1 and 2 of the construction of our computer factory. Stage 1 and 2 made it so that now we are now producing these 3 resources, plus a little bit of surplus of empty canisters. They're not like, they're like a extra thing that we're producing, not necessarily what we're looking for. And we're going to continue this episode by adding up the rest of the stuff that we are producing, which is the circuit boards, high-speed connectors, and computers, which will be finished in this episode. Baboom! And we will have a very nice, in my opinion, very nice looking computer factory at the end of this. And I will finish a lot of stuff and really try to finish up here and make sure that it looks really cool. And I also want to thank you guys for all the support that I'm getting on this series and like on my channel in general, and its growth is insane because of you guys. So I want to continue doing this and really show you guys some cool stuff. And if you have any specific like factories or concepts or anything that you feel like you want to see, put them in the comments so that I can really I can put some extra focus on them for you guys in future episodes. And if you want to chat about Satisfactory, join my Discord, and I will have a happy conversation with you. If you want to jump on a voice call with some video stream to like work through like problems you're having with builds or whatever it is, I can come and help out. No problems. And now, without further ado, let's move in to building stage 3. In stage 3, we will be making copper ingots and water into steamed copper sheets, and we will use those copper sheets along with some plastic to make circuit boards. We will also use some of the ingots to make wire, and the wire will be making cable, and the caterium ingots will be making quick wire. So that means we're gonna have some problems fitting that into this floor, but I bet we will be able to figure it out. So let's just go ba-boom. And after the ba-boom, we actually have this part set up. And as you can see, there are some stuff going on here that weren't here before in just a second ago. And the reason for that is I just set up all of stage 3. And yeah, I'm just that fast. I'm just that good. And now let's see what I have adjusted, because I have made some adjustments to the factory, contrary to like what we started out with planning here. So let's jump into it and see what we can find. All right, so we are now producing our fix-it circuit boards, and you can see I've also AFK'd to let it fill up. And if we look around here, you can see they are being produced in these. And something that I had to do, because I wasn't happy with how it was working, was specifically the plastic. So I went down one floor and I increased plastic production a little bit and overclocked one of the plastic producing refineries so that I could get a little bit more plastic. And on top of that, I also increased the amount of what's it called? Canisters that I'm making, and overclocked them as well. If you look over here, I have put in some shards here and overclocked, so I've been producing a little bit more of those, specifically so that I can keep up with the extra heavy oil residue that are now coming out of making the extra plastic. So there's a few adjustments being made, and at the end of all of this, I will show you exactly what the numbers are for our production of this, like our actual output that we will be using for the factory. But what are we now doing with the logistic? Like, how does it work? And let's try not fly away here. Okay, so if we start over from this section and we move across, right? So I've moved over the copper. It is now coming in from over there, and I'm splitting off with a smart splitter, so it has the any goes forward and then a overflow going in here to make wire, and over here it goes into these refiners where they are all clocked at 83.33 recurring percentages. Yeah, and basically I'm bringing in the water. I also like increased, because I've increased certain things here. Something that I also did was that I let's see if I can spot it from here. Can I see it? Yeah, I added a second water collector or water extractor, specifically to keep up with it. So that is all like taken care of water-wise. We have everything we need, and they are immediately, like, if you look under here, instead of being brought anywhere else, the copper sheets, because we're using those only for this, copper sheets go straight in here from this side, and on the other side we have plastic going up, and they make our circuit boards up top, which I am very happy about. And then outside of that, those circuit boards are now being sent. First of all, they're being sent here, or second of all, that's actually the overflow. The primary place the circuit boards go is over here. And what happens over here is, if we follow this, the Caterium let's start with like moving up here. And we're gonna see the Caterium is being brought up, and it goes in here, and it is processed into QuickWire, which is the only thing we need from them. So the QuickWire is made, it is collected, and then from here, let's see where there. The output goes down underneath, and they are both transported along this line over here, and then it goes up here in a lift up top to where we will be making our actual like high-speed connectors. That's their name. Blah. They just disappeared. That completely escaped my brain. And then on the other hand, over here we are then taking the wire that I was talking about before, and I have done like a bit of an like ugly split here. So these three first constructors are making the wires that we need, and these two ones are making the cable that we need. And if we look underneath, you can see how that happens. The what's it called? The ingots are being brought in here, and then the wires. Okay, I haven't even connected this up. That's not right. Okay, I need to double check that I've actually done that for the big thing in the end, and the future scene saves that I have made. And over here, this goes into the the elevators that bring brought up, make cables in the two constructors up top, and then they are being brought on as cable and being brought over to the end point where we bring it up to the final floor where we make our high-speed connectors and computers. So with that, ultimately, like all of this leads to 4 of our resources going up top, where we will be working on the big end thing. And then after that, we will also do we will properly like decorate this place and make it look hella fly. And that is basically stage 3. That it's completed. And is the logistics about as chaotic as my brain? Definitely. But I just think that's on brand for me. So what I would like you to do is just like, if you have any questions about how I planned it out and how I solved problems and like how I think for the future, like this place for example wasn't very thought through, like how am I thinking, then ask. I'm happy to go through it with you guys, and like it might actually be something that I haven't thought about, and I would be very happy to admit that. And then, but yeah, like for now, what we will do is we will make a final skippity hoppity over to our stage 4 being completed, so that we can see when this factory is actually up and running. And that's going to be a very easy thing to go and look at, because now we can go here and look, we have very flat, we have motherboards to put the circuit boards on to make the computers, even though these aren't used in the computers for some reason. Yeah, logic wasn't really there. And either way, and we have started filling up on these a little bit, and over time they will keep filling up, but basically we are now producing everything that we wanted to produce in this factory. Alright. I don't know about you, but that feels like a really nice accomplishment. So, what did we do with those final 4 resources we sent up? Well, first of all, let's see. I've actually blocked off all of the flooring for this, so we can't actually see all the wiring and everything downstairs, or like the logistics and everything, the guts of the factory, so to speak. But if we go upstairs, where I sent up these 4 resources, look at the logistics floor, you can see a very simple split here. Like 2 of these resources are used in both, and 2 of them are exclusive to their products. And we only need 3 resources per, even though we use manufacturers, right? And I've basically been using this. This is just so that I can turn off certain parts if I'm troubleshooting or anything like that. But yeah, now upstairs we can see what it looks like. Let's check our final destination, not the game. And then we have in here 2 manufacturers. One is making computers, 3.75, using the alternative recipe Caterium computer, and the other one is making high-speed connectors, 3.75 there as well. They are then collected here, and I wanted to do something different with the belts here. I didn't just want to randomly send them downstairs and then out, and I wanted to do something extra with it, so I did. And basically they now go down, and if we look at this, they go down all the way there. And let's see, I don't have any openings here, do I? No. So if we go downstairs and look at what I did with the logistics downstairs, it's quite simple. And basically it just, you can also see I've been messing around with some other stuff here, but I will explain that in a second. And basically what I've done now is we can see both of those resources over here coming in. Boom. And I literally just prepped where I had this before, so now it's just belted in so that we get the high-speed connectors and computers sent into where they should be. And they go up here, we have this. I've set this up now, right? So we have a double overflow. And one of those overflows is go over and merge up and go down into the sink. The other overflow we have is over here. And this is for future factory logistics. So I will want to bring this down here, where I will have a train station that, or a truck station, probably a train station, that picks up the resources that we need for other stuff and sends that on. I want to make sure that all of this gets sent to our storage, for example, where we can go just to our HQ and just pick this stuff up when we need it, instead of going to each and every other factory to find our stuff. So yeah, this is the start of our inter-factory logistics. So yeah, that's basically what I've set up down here. This was the fastest thing for me to do, I think, because there are so few, literally just a couple of machines and a few belts and everything. It was very, very simple. It's basically, and then I set that up and covered it with floor and everything. That added a little bit of work, but yeah, the big thing here has been we actually needed to set this up and cover the floor and everything and prepare for making this place look hella pretty. So When I forgot something before as well that I should have talked about, and that is that I added in logistics to bring up water because we didn't do that before. So we're now bringing up water, as you can see, and it comes from down here. Yay! So from underneath here, we can very easily see how I have brought in all the water that we needed for making the steamed copper sheets that I had forgotten before. Let me just see here. Where I added in this split over here in this logistics, and that just goes over. I'm just bypassing the entire thing, and I'm sending it up using the logistics elevator over here. So yeah, very, very simple. Not as simple as making the diagonal pipes, but yeah. Basically, what I tried to do is make it so that I have an easy time walking around and explaining, and also if I go back here in another 100 hours and when I've forgotten what I did here, I can just look at it and go, kind of go like, oh yeah, that's the logic. So that's why I've set it up to be the way I have, and hopefully it's helped you guys understand a little bit better. And yeah, so what I've done, so this is how you get into the factory, and then here's how you get up to the normal floor, and then you go to the next floor, and up on this floor there's also a split where you can go into the logistics floor for this part of the base, and then one stair up and you get into the floor here. And because like this, if you go up here, if you just follow that up, you can very easily get to the storage system. That's on purpose. Like, you don't have to always have very, very quick access up all the way. So that's why I've put that over here, and which also allows me to create more like dynamic looks for the factory when I'm adding the decorations and stuff like that. So let's see what you guys think. Do you feel like you got a grasp? Do you feel like you got what you need to make your computer factory? After watching, like, what is this, the third episode I'm building this computer factory, I think? So after these 3 episodes, you should understand how I've built my factory. You should understand how I've thought about the logistics. You should understand why I've picked the alternative recipes that I have, and everything. Then everything else, go nuts, do your own thing, build your factory the way you want to, the way you makes you feel good. And like, regardless, if you built a computer factory, you've won. Like, you've gotten to the point where you can start making trains and stuff. You're getting to the cool stuff. I know a lot of people say like the game starts once you've unlocked phase 3, the objective we have in the top right corner. And I can understand why they say that, but in my opinion, the game starts when you have automated computers and heavy modular frames, because that's when you can start putting in trains and really start messing around with factory logistics, which in my opinion is the really cool thing. So, do you have any pointers? Do you have any thoughts, opinions, questions? Put them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. And while I'm waiting for your comments, I will just continue building on this factory and turn it from whatever it looks like right now. I'm gonna show you. Let's do that. Let's go flip. And I will show you what it looks like right now. Okay. This is what it looks like. Okay. And we can mark as well, not there. We can mark here that we have done stage 3, stage 4. Oh, yay for the dopamine kick. And now we will turn this factory from this, let's see, from this into this. And I will gladly show you what I've been doing here, because I am so proud of everything that I have done here. Let's start with a fly around of the base, or the factory, so you guys can see it from every angle. What do you guys think about this? Alright, I am really happy with how this turned out. Let's go photo mode so we can make it really photogenic here. Here we go. Look at that. This is really good looking, in my opinion. I really wanted to break up everything on the bottom, make sure that it wasn't just one big flat surface, so I tried to make it almost like there are like extra like structure and everything around. This is a bit flat, but because that's also the side that we never see. And then on this end, we will have a lot more stuff. And then I'm really happy with how this turned out. It is so cool, and I love how the steel walls, glass, and concrete walls and everything, they really, really help each other. And then like the like uh, like curves and everything, like the curves are in all the right places in my opinion, while still giving you that like factory feeling, right? And then we have this side, which is also a little bit flatter, and I'm really happy with that. Okay, let's fly down here, and I'll take you on the factory tour with what it looks like right now. Can I? There we go. And fly. Use this fly instead. Right, so let's go in. Yay. And when we go up here, not much is gonna change here for you guys because we've already seen this. So if we look in here, we got this. We got the logistics floor. We already know what that looks like. We already know how it works. Go in here. This has changed colors. I've changed a lot with the walls here and added in some details. So a lot of that I'm happy with. Like nothing here's changed. Nothing that we've seen in the other episodes really has changed. So let's move up to where the real cool shit's happened. I'm really happy with that as well. That is the logistics elevator that I talked about before, that will be bringing everything down to the train that I'll be putting in. So I'm really like how that looks. And then we go up, and I have put in this so that it blocks off the logistics floor, like this. And I'm really happy with how everything turned out in here. And you can see as well, like everything's been blocked off, everything's been sectioned off and everything, and by the floor. And now if we go up here and I go inside here, you can see that there's a lot more corridors now. So if we go on the outside here, like we can go just around the entire factory like this with some of this stuff, but generally we are actually blocking off this to make sure that it looks really nice when you go in here and look at the factories and everything. That they aren't... Yeah, I think... Did I overclock these? Yeah, I overclocked them a little bit. Like, I made a little bit more circuit boards to ramp it up. So yeah, I'm now making 8 instead of 7.25, I think. To make production a little bit more stable. And basically just moving over, not everything painted the way that I would like it to. Like there's something off with the brushes, sometimes the colors disappear. But yeah, like essentially what we have is all the production set up and working the way it should. And yeah, this is the door from what we saw before. And over here, if we go this direction, I have another production level here where I decided to glass this in and kind of make it look like a almost like glassed garden with the quick wire being produced. I also made doors through it, so if you need to go, you can easily run through and head to the outside. I also forgot to put a door here. Okay, but there's supposed to be a door here. Yeah, and then you have this ladders going up all the way up to our top floor where we have the logistics floor for the manufacturers, and on the top floor we have the actual manufacturers, where I decided, as I told you, I wanted to do something fun with this, and I think I did. And I made this kind of like in the style of the manufacturers. As you can see how the manufacturers is like designed, I kind of made the roof look like a bit of a manufacturer. So if we go outside and we look at the roof, it kind of has that same feeling. And if we go in here, oh, that wrong floor. We need to go to our one floor. There we go. If we just go and run through here, you can see I made some nice curves and everything as well here, and like some glassed-in logistics elevators for the manufacturers. A long corridor that shows the packers for the heavy oil residue. And I've decided to kind of like just block off a lot of like open areas. Like if you look inside here, it's just empty. Like there's nothing. To kind of like control the like design a little bit. I decided to make a few like outside areas as well, like where you walk outside. This is just a like pass-through corridor. I also forgot to put a door over there. I'm really good at this, I swear. And then I have fuel packers and the fluid and low earth byproduct sinks over here. Also color disappear from that one. Yeah. I also increased the fuel production. So that's something to mention. I increased the fuel production and put that so we're now outputting 40 fuel per minute instead. But yeah, like this is generally like the factory, so to speak. Something that I also wanted to show, if we go back into fly mode, is what I've done with the roof. So if we look up here, I tried to make something that wasn't just a big monolithic flat surface. I tried to break it up a little bit, partly with how I designed the factory and how I just like section stuff out with this stuff, but also with how I put in like different levels of things. I mean, I could have looked at like what is the highest point and just make a big square that goes over the highest point, but instead I opted to put in some of this stuff and some detail to make it look a little bit more like in motion, a little bit more alive, to have a little bit more pizzazz to it. And I'm really hoping you guys liked it as much as I did. Either way, that means we are done with the computer factory. Now, the question is, what are we going to start using this for? First, let me, like, before we move over to that, let's see that as like a foreshadowing, a sneak peek. When I'm making these, what I've used here is very simple painted beams that I each made 4 meters at different intervals and then painted white and red in between. And I've used the outer corner extensions and the outer corner quarter pipes to create this kind of like smokestack feeling. So yeah, then later on down the line we will have a train station that picks this up and move it over to our HQ. And with that said, we're going to be moving over to our HQ to check out the what's it called? We're going to check out what we're going to be doing next. All right, we are back, and we will now just be fixing our board here. Because now, if we look at this board, turns out we have fixed a ton of stuff. Let's just copy our color setting here and go and update our nice little signs here so that they have the right color, because now we are making these things. And that means that we only have one more thing left on the board to automate to be set up for the end game. But even without that one, there's something we can do that we haven't done in a long time that we really should be doing. And that is setting up our space elevator parts. So, if we look outside at what we have done before with our space elevator parts, we have set up the first 3 that we could make. We have set up the smart plating over there, And over there we have the frame, versatile framework, and over there we have the automated wiring. But now we're going to be putting in 2 more. One down there and one up there. And that is going to be the modular engines and the adaptive control units. So what's going to happen is, if we look at the recipes for the modular engine, right, it uses smart plating, so it's going to be using resources from one of our other factories here. Then it's going to be using rubber, which we also make now, and motors, which we also make, right? And if we go to the adaptive control unit and look at it, that uses 4 things. It uses automated wiring, which we're making, circuit boards, which we're making, heavy modular frames, which we're also making, and the computers, all of which we have completed the automation of today. So while we don't have the trains hooked up yet, what we do have hooked up is all the automation. So what I will be doing is bringing over manually, just like we've done with the first few here, to produce the stuff so that we can finish this episode off with sending the space elevator and completing phase 3, unlocking the final 2 tiers in our hub. And hopefully you guys are along for the journey, and that's also what you guys are doing, making sure that you are upgrading yourself, because we will very soon be moving into using like Mark 5 belts and like that kind of stuff, and be using new materials and such. And if you haven't automated the stuff that I have in this world, you are going to be struggling to keep up, and it's going to be taking you a lot of time to achieve somewhere like close to the same stuff in the same time frame that I am. So that's like, if you haven't done the things, I would heavily recommend, like, chill out, go back and automate all the parts that you can. The space elevator parts aren't that important to automate yet. That's gonna come a bit later, but basically all of these parts that we have here should be automated along with the parts that we have marked on the board down here, minus the something crystal oscillator. That's what it's called. Something. Basically, that's the only point that I have. Like, if you haven't built up and automated the things that I have so far, you're going to struggle. But for now, we're going to transform this place and make it look a little bit busier, but a lot more fun, because it is game progress. So let me just snap my fingers and magically just summon the things. All right, snap my fingers and suddenly we have all the stuff. So let's go and check what I have actually done. I've put up some stuff here so I can run over and show you guys without having to fly, or rather without having to use commands to fly. I'm just using my jetpack. But yeah, as you can see, not necessarily the best architecture, but I'm bringing over the smart plating because we need the smart plating up here on the top of platform there. We just run up this thing. Damn. And when we have these things produced in enough numbers, we will send them into the space elevator and make sure that we, and here's the automated wiring goes out and goes down there. But yeah, like, let's check up here first, because then I can just yeet myself off the edge to get to the other one. But yeah, like, basically, once we've produced enough, we'll just send them into the space elevator and make sure that we get the phase completed. Oh yeah, so, oh, I haven't connected them up. Yeah, okay. Something to, like, or not something to, like, what I did was I saved this so that I could hook this up with you guys here. And so I've just prepped everything, so I just have to basically hook everything in. Boom. So now we're making modular engines, and these are split into 2 manufacturers, right? That are all both like maximum overclock. So I make 2.5, actual 5 per minute because I'm using 2, right? And hopefully this will like churn out enough that we don't have to wait. We have to make like wait 100 minutes. I'm gonna AFK that. You don't have to stay here for that long. That would be a very, very dull video with me just like staring out into nothing while like getting up from the computer, going away and like doing dishes or like something like that instead. But no, let's go over here and just not die. And then go over here, jump down here, whee, and not die. Thank you. Oh, it was a perfect timing with the jetpack. Damn. Now if I'd have done that on purpose, I'd be good. Now let's see. We are going to hook everything in, starting with the modular or automated wiring. So automated wiring goes in there. Circuit boards go in there. Heavy modular frames go in there, and computers go in there. All right, perfect. So now everything's in. Oh yeah, I haven't hooked up power to this one yet, because I am doing the stupid. Have I hooked power into that one? It looks like there's a wire there, yes. So yeah, let me just hook that in, and I will be right back. We are now back, and they are running, they are overclocked, and they make 5 per minute here as well. And one of the reasons why I'm overclocking them like this is such a small factory, like I don't really care about the power usage for just a couple of manufacturers. What I'm more concerned with is getting the parts out fast, and these factories specifically are made so that they will actually be backed up and stop running when they've filled up their containers downstairs. So yeah, oh, there we go. First adaptive frames. Let's go down and check. I want to see what it looks like. Like a baby at Christmas. So I just like with the other ones, I've just run wires down here, or like the infinite, what's it called? Logistics elevator or conveyor lift, and basically just connected them into one of each. There's going to be another third part that is from up there that's going to be hooking in here, and then we're going to have the last parts coming in from there. I think I even have planned for one part coming in through there, if I remember correctly. Let's just, I'm gonna check that so I don't lie to you guys. Yeah, exactly, there. I was thinking I was gonna make the nuclear pasta over here. Might switch that up depending on how far reaching the radiation is. But yeah, like what's going to happen now is I'm going to basically wait until we have the parts ready to send in, and I will be back once we do. All right, so we are back. I have AFK'd a little bit, basically just been flying around the world, looking at everything from like a bird's eye view, and did some cleaning and everything in at home. And then now, if I just stop flying, let's do that. There. And let's go down and take a look at what it looks like downstairs. You can see that I've sent stuff into the elevator, and that is very much on purpose. And let's... Geronimo! Like, not really, because I have jetpack. Jetpack power for the win. There we go. And you can see that I have sent in the elevator parts. Now any like extra elevator parts that I do have, they are just stored up in here, as you can see, and you can see that I'm storing some of them in here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So if we go upstairs, it is time to send our elevator parts to space. Let's see if I can just get over here. Are you guys ready for this? This is gonna be really fun. So, as always, great sound design. Perfect, and let's send it. Yeah, every time. And now, if you look in the top right corner, there is just a ungodly amount of stuff that we need to make that we have no idea what they are yet. And the things that they are, we can't even build yet because they're not unlocked. So I figured as a last final thing, let's like get over to our HQ and look at our hub to see what has now been unlocked. It's going to be a lot of stuff because refined energy, refined power, they have the majority of their unlocks, like the big stuff, is going to be here. Like you basically have a little bit to teach you some of the mechanics in the beginning, and now we get the like real big stuff. So it's going to be a lot of refined energy stuff, and then a lot of other stuff as well, because like a lot of it's locked behind these two tiers. So let's look in our hub. We have tier 5 and tier 6. If you remember, we have some stuff here that we haven't unlocked. That's soon going to be unlocked. Modular sizzling, which is like a little bit higher level, based generally like twice as effective generators. They use more steam, make more steam, and go warmer. They end up at 2000 degrees. So yeah, there's a lot of this kind of stuff. Solar panel Mark II, we haven't unlocked that because we're not using solar panels. I feel like it's kind of like a little bit cheaty considering it's always day, because I have stopped the night cycle from happening. And then inventory slots, I just need to craft this up. It's easy peasy. Modular combustion, it's more like of the, what's it called? Refined energy stuff, refined power stuff. And yeah, this is for fuel. Like you can burn fuel with this. But let's get into the real cool stuff. Okay, refined power, again, Mark III. Wind turbines, Mark III. Refined power, Mark IV, which is a micro reactor that we can do a bunch of weird stuff with. Like you can get up to 1 gigawatt, which is like 1,000 megawatts of power. And then refined power Mark III, refined solar panel Mark III, modular parting, high voltage generator, nuclear heater, if you want to really go warm. Modular reactors, which is even more here, superconductivity, super HV generator, generates 10 gigawatts, that's 10,000 megawatts of power. The turbine and the superconductor platform, all of this is refined power. What we do have, if we scroll, is all the vanilla stuff here is bauxite refinement, which is aluminum or aluminum, depending on where you are in the world. And we got a new factory thing that we can unlock here, the blender. And we got new like parts that we can automate, the radio control unit, the alclad aluminium sheets and aluminium ingots. If I remember correctly, you kind of need to like do these things differently. Like this is the base thing that you make into this, that you then make into this, that you then make into this. Like there's a lot more steps to this than there used to be. And yeah, the radio control unit, something that we need to get into automating later. Logistics Mark V. This is the holy grail here. Here's what we really want. And that uses the alclad aluminium sheets to be built, which means that we can make use of the fastest belts in the game. And I have some fun stuff planned for when we unlock this. There was just a motorbike going by outside, in case you also heard that. And even more. Hazmat suit and iodine infused filter and more inventory slots. We don't care about these, but these make us immune to the radioactive stuff in the world. Aeronautical engineering gives us the drone ports and everything. We can make batteries. we unlock supercomputers. We already have the supercomputers from the Caterium tree, but yeah, nice of you. Sulfuric acid, like we're looking at a lot more like weird stuff. Here's assembly director system, which is the first space elevator part. Now we're looking to automate, or one of them, that we need 4,000 of. Hover pack, which is very, very nice. It consumes 100 megawatts, but it also lets us just float in the air. Very, very nice. I don't have to use like flight mode to show you guys and stuff anymore. I can like just use this instead, so I don't have to set that on. Let's see what more. If we go in here, we have an additional 200 slots here. They are from the modded stuff. Even more reactor shielding that is used for the really big like thorium reactors in refined engineering or refined power. And then we have reactor shielding, reactor cooling, nuclear power. This is vanilla. We have the nuclear power plant, uranium fuel or electromagnetic control rod, encased uranium cells. We can scan for uranium. And then we have the second, the magnetic field generator, which is the second part that we need to make a 4,000 of to send to the space elevator. And then we have advanced aluminium production. We have the resource well pressurizer. You've seen those resource wells like scattered around. They're like cracks in the earth where they spew a little bit of stuff out of. The resource well extractor. You kind of need these two combined to make use of them. Then you have more like scanner upgrade so that we can find the wells that use this. And then we have the heatsink part that we can like automate. The cooling systems also something we can automate. Fused modular frames because the heavy modular frames weren't hard enough. And then we go into the leading edge production. Which gives us a turbo motor, which for a long time was the hardest item in the game to automate at any significant quantities. And miner Mark III, which we really look forward to. Then we have the next space elevator part, thermal production and propulsion rockets. And if we go into the next stuff here, we have the particle enrichment, which is basically this is where we can like recycle the nuclear waste, because in nuclear power, when we have the depleted uranium rods or these like depleted uranium fuel rods, they basically you can't sink it. It doesn't go away. It just stacks up in the thousands. So it's basically you can't really make an infinite amount of nuclear power because you're going to need to recycle it, or you're going to destroy your world with nuclear waste. And like I'm saying that as like you will have to put down so many containers and have so much of it laying around that you won't be able to play on your world anymore. You need to unlock this. Don't start messing around with nuclear power before you've also unlocked particle enrichment, so that you can recycle your nuclear waste and send it into the sink. Okay. Also, copper powder, like an additional like resource that is used for some of this stuff. Pressure conversion cube, the highest level of the modular frame stuff. And then we have the last elevator part, nuclear pasta, which we need 1,000 of, which is made in the final factory building that we have, which is the particle accelerator. And this one uses a lot of energy to charge up, send particles very quickly and knock them into each other, so that we can take this and somehow move around nuclear pasta without the planet imploding on itself. Look up nuclear pasta and you will understand why I'm saying that. And then we have the final refined power tier here, which is Icarus. And there we are looking at solar ray reflectors. We're looking at like Dyson sphere, Dyson swarm kind of stuff. And this is basically what you kind of need to, like, I haven't used this. I have no idea how to use it. I would have to experiment with it like in the future. But for now, we're not going to do anything with this because what we're going to be doing in the next episode is actually be working on trains. So now that we have all the fun stuff that we wanted to have, we can start doing some real cool stuff. We are going to be looking at specifically trains, and we will be doing a lot of it. So if you are looking forward to learn how to use the trains, oh yeah, we're there. It's going to happen, and it's probably going to be like at least a few episodes long because it's this is the most advanced logistics system in the game, and it takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to really set it up to a usable level on the scale that I want to use it. Uh, as which is to say, I want to use it as the primary interfactory logistics system for this save. The trucks will be supplementary, and then drones will also be supplementary when we unlock them. But this is the big thing. Like, trucks are somewhat easy to understand. Trains, you can spend 50 hours trying to understand them. If you don't get help understanding these, you're going to have some trouble. So for now, hope you're happy with the progress that we've been making here, and I really hope that you have, if you're following along, that you're happy with your own progress in your own saves. And in the future, we've sent this. In the future, we will be looking at trains so that we can actually make this kind of look good and be automated and bring in our stuff to the our main storage as well, because we're not doing that right now. So that's also something that we will be finishing up. And if you like this episode, I would love to see you show that with a thumbs up on the video, and hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and hop over to the Discord and show me what your favorite computer factories look like. And for now, I'm signing off, and we'll see each other in the next episode, and have a good time. Bye!